news at night for Wednesday, January the 13th. I'm Colette Linden.
I'm Craig Huckerby. We've been hearing all week about a polar vortex. I'll tell you just when that is coming and how cold we're going to get. Sault Ste. Marie Police Services responded to a weapons call in the 200 block of Wellington Street West just before noon today. Multiple patrol units as well as the emergency services unit were on scene, and Sioux Online reporter Dan Gray has confirmed that one person has been taken to a hospital as a result of the incident. The area surrounding the incident, including St. George's Avenue, was blocked off, and more information will be provided as it becomes available. Earlier today, Premier Doug Ford made an announcement alongside Christine Elliott, Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, Solicitor General Sylvia Jones, and General Rick Hillier, and provided an update on the province's COVID-19 vaccination plan.
We're building the capacity. We're emptying our freezers. Phase 1 of our vaccine rollout plan is already well underway. We've administered over 150,000 vaccines to date, and that is changing on an hourly basis. We now have the capacity to administer 20,000 vaccines a day, and we're working our way up to 40,000 a day by February. While phase 1 of our rollout plan is well in hand, thanks to General Hillier and the task force, we're getting ready for the next phase. Phase 2 will be an even larger logistical undertaking than the first, but we are ready. We need to vaccinate another 10 million people in Ontario, including frontline workers and seniors. Over the next few months, millions of doses will arrive, and we are ready. We just need everyone to stay strong a little while longer. So please, stay home, stay safe, and save lives.
As of yesterday morning in Ontario, we had received 147,000 doses of Pfizer. And we had used, as of yesterday morning, just over 140,000 of those, and we're continuing to vaccinate people with the Pfizer that we had while we awaited the next shipment. That shipment arrived yesterday, just less than 50,000 doses of Pfizer, and yesterday afternoon and yesterday evening, it was already being put into the arms of people in those first two priority groups, those in most vulnerable circumstances and those of our healthcare workers. And we wanted to get it to them as quickly as we possibly could. We have ramped up the capacity to flow the vaccines through the 19 hospitals that are running mass vaccination clinics. We are piloting a project with the City of Toronto and Chief Matt Pegg to open up a clinic on the 18th of January to write the playbook for mass vaccination clinics outside of hospitals to utilize around the rest of Ontario. And while we're doing that, we're running an operation called Operation Remote Immunity, where we are getting vaccines into those in most vulnerable circumstances, particularly in those isolated fly-in communities. Some of them along the James Bay, some 31 of them that we want to get vaccinated because of their fragile circumstances. And we started last Thursday with needles in arms and several long-term care facilities in those communities, and vaccinated 47 out of 51 residents, for example, and did more in Sioux Lookout itself with long-term care facilities, and now moving to vaccinate the healthcare workers in the hospital there. All this to ensure that those in isolated communities and fly-in communities in particular have received a level of protection that they have not had till now.
U.S. President Donald Trump is on the verge of being impeached for a second time in an unprecedented House vote Wednesday, a week after he encouraged a mob of loyalists to fight like hell against election results just before they stormed the U.S. Capitol in a deadly siege. The House chaplain opened the session early Wednesday with a prayer for seizing the scales of justice from the jaws of mobocracy. Massachusetts Democrat Jim McGovern began to make the party's case that the only remedy was Trump's removal. Sessions Cannabis continues to grow as Ontario's fastest growing legal retail brand, with the grand opening of its Sault Ste. Marie location at 216 Second Line West. Sessions in the Sault beside M&M Meats and Subway will not be welcoming customers inside the store for its grand opening day due to the current lockdown, but the store will be open for curbside pickup and free 90-minute delivery as of Wednesday, January the 13th. Sessions Cannabis was started over a year ago and has since served hundreds of thousands of customers across the province. In the past year, the Sessions team has done an impressive job opening 14 locations, with 30 more scheduled for 2021. Air Canada says it will cut 1,700 jobs as it scales down flights for the balance of the first quarter of 2021. The 25% reduction in service will also affect 200 employees at Air Canada's express carriers. With the reduction, Air Canada's capacity in the first quarter of 2021 will be about 20% of its capacity during the first quarter of 2019. The company said that today in a tweet. Air Canada notified airports in Atlantic Canada this week that it would cut additional routes in the region, suspending all flights in Gander, Newfoundland, Goose Bay, Newfoundland, and Fredericton, New Brunswick, until further notice. It also said it was suspending passenger service to Yellowknife on January the 23rd. Air Canada is contacting affected customers to offer them options such as refunds or alternative travel arrangements. With Mayor Provenzano pushing Monday night for everyone to stay home, as well as the province's new stay-at-home order, will places like Clerk Park be closed? Sioux Online reporter Dan Gray posed a question to Tessa Vecchio, Corporate Communications Officer for Sault Ste. Marie yesterday afternoon, who responded that the city is hoping for details later today or tomorrow, and that once the city has further clarification on what this means, Vecchio went on to say that they will get the message out to the community advising of any service modifications. However, one of the provincial exemptions for the stay-at-home order is for exercise. Arctic weather could be headed this way, according to Environment Canada. A warming of the air over the Arctic could push what is referred to as a polar vortex into the area near the end of January. The low pressure system, which normally spins around the North Pole, generally gets bigger in the wintertime and sometimes fractures and sends cold into the mid-latitudes. A look at the extended forecast shows daytime highs headed to -8 or 9 near the end of the month, with lows in the double digits overnight. It could also bring more moisture and heavy snowfall to the air.
And speaking of polar vortex, they say timing is everything in the weather. I'll tell you exactly when we're going to get cold and when the snow is coming and will they come at the same time. I'll give you all that information coming up.
Do your part to help stop the spread of COVID-19. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Cough into your elbow, not into your hand or in the air. Avoid touching your face, eyes, and mouth. Keep your distance from people. Stay at least 6 feet away from others. If you're feeling sick, please just stay home. Do the 5 and keep others alive. Help stop the spread of COVID-19.
Drizzle, maybe a few light flurries. It's not going to accumulate to anything. Temperatures around -2, but the evening we're going to stay around +1 and drop down to -2. Overnight around the horn here, really above seasonal temperatures. Nothing to complain about. All just lower negative temperatures, but could be a lot colder, and I'll tell you about that coming up. So let's take a look now at the satellite shot. This is our big weather maker coming in for Thursday. This is an Alberta Clipper. They're usually good for 5 to 10 centimeters of snow, but there is a little shot of rain that we could see first. So we'll take a look at the systems map and show you exactly where we're going to be for Thursday. So this is Thursday right now, and you can see it's just moving into the area. So we could pick up some light rain showers before it transitions over to snow or even freezing rain. And again, got to make note of these isobars here. When they're close together, that means it's windy conditions. And that's the threat of some lake effect snows coming in for Friday as well. We'll take a look at Fridays, and you can see that low pressure system is right over top of us. We're seeing snow. And again, as that low pushes off to the east, there is a chance of picking up some lake enhancement. Not a big threat this weekend. It's next week that we have to watch. We'll take a look at the temperatures for next week. This is for Tuesday. And again, it could be a lot colder. We could be seeing -25 temperatures. That air is going to stay up to the north. We're going to cool down, so it's going to feel cooler than we've been experiencing, but nowhere close to where we're normally seeing a polar vortex conditions where we're just bundling up and it's just freezing cold. So let's take a look at the 3-day forecast for you. For tomorrow, we're going to start off with some cloud. We're going to see that system working. Again, we could see some freezing drizzle, rain, temperatures around +1. Temperatures holding steady overnight for Friday when we see that system come in for Friday. Again, the call is anywhere from 5 to 10 centimeters. Could be less if we see more rain. And some lingering flurries for Saturday. Temperatures holding steady though at +1. We're not cooling down yet. We will cool down sometime next week. let's say Tuesday, Monday we'll start to cool down. Tuesday we're going to start seeing some cooler conditions, and again, that's where that lake effect threat will come in. And if the timing works out, we could see some substantial lake effect flurries and snow squalls developing for Tuesday and Wednesday next week. But we will keep an eye on that for you. That's your weather right now. Colette has more news coming up.
When social distancing, remember, stay at least 6 feet away and wear your mask. Help save lives.
Hi, Mike Holmes here with some advice that could save your life. I'm talking about radon. It's the #2 cause of lung cancer in Canada. Radon is radioactive gas that comes from the ground. You can't see or smell it, but almost every home has it. The question is, how much? Protect your family. Get your home tested. It's easy. And if you have high levels, a certified radon professional can reduce it for a reasonable cost. Make it right. Find out more at takeactiononradon.ca.
Gods are upon us as the 2021 season begins tonight. Following 3.5 months of waiting through this pandemic, it's time to drop that puck again and look forward to our nation's favorite game. Starting tonight, the Penguins and Philadelphia Flyers will renew their rivalry at Wells Fargo Center at 5:30. The puck will be dropped at 7 p.m. at the Scotiabank Arena, where the Toronto Maple Leafs face off against the Montreal Canadiens. The Lightning will begin their title defense against the Chicago Blackhawks at Amalie Arena at 8 p.m. Now going over to the west, the Edmonton Oilers and Vancouver Canucks will play at Rogers Place at 10 p.m. The Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues will play at Ball Arena shortly thereafter, starting at 10:30. Tomorrow night, you can catch the Detroit Red Wings when they face off against Carolina Hurricanes at the Little Caesars Arena at 7 p.m. Tonight's games are the first time the NHL will follow new division titles named after companies in an effort to recoup costs. Scotia North, Honda West, Discover Central, and Mass Mutual East divisions. The regular season has been shortened from 82 to 56 games. Teams will play only within divisions that have been realigned temporarily because of Canada-US border restrictions and the need to reduce travel. With no preseason games, we are ready to begin nights at home with our favorite teams, cheering them on with family. Finally, a government-approved event has finally landed. Move over Netflix, hockey is here. The Toronto Blue Jays have signed team president and chief executive officer Mark Shapiro to a 5-year contract extension. Team owner Rogers Communications confirmed the signing in a post on Twitter today. Rogers chairman Edward Rogers said that Shapiro's leadership and commitment over the last 5 years have been critical to the team's growth and development. The Blue Jays returned to their playoffs last season for the first time since 2016. Toronto posted a 32-28 record in the pandemic-shortened campaign to earn a wild-card spot in the expanded playoffs. The Toronto FC will name Chris Armas as their next head coach. Armas was fired by the New York Red Bulls in September after a 3-4-2 start to the season. In 2+ seasons with New York, Armas had a 29, 21, and 11 record overall, with 2 bursts in the MLS Cup playoffs. Toronto FC parted ways with head coach Greg Vanney, who had held the job since 2014 back in December. Vanney joined the LA Galaxy earlier this month.
Peter called me in his office. Didn't really think much of it, just thought maybe he was asking about the camp, and asked me if I wanted to or was up for the opportunity to be the captain of this team. And this is an organization that I've always wanted to be a part of.
Mark Stone is making NHL history. He has been named the first captain for the Golden Knights in their franchise. Stone has played 2 full seasons with the Golden Knights and has been one of their top players. Last season, he put up 63 points in just 65 games. He had 21 goals and 42 assists. Stone's next goal is to help the franchise win their first Stanley Cup, as last year they just fell short to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Thank you for watching News at Night for Wednesday, January 13th. I'm Colette Linden, and I hear, Craig, we're getting cold weather next week.
Next week, we're going to cool down quite a bit, but not as cold as we could be. This polar vortex isn't going to really give us a deep freeze, but it's going to make us feel a lot colder than we've been experiencing.
Well, I'm not too sure I like the sound of that, but stay tuned for more news and weather coming right up.